So, it's about ski season. It's getting cold outside. You might be thinking to yourself that you want to try skiing this year, or you already have ski equipment that's been hanging around the garage for a couple too many years and needs a little bit of attention. Throughout this video, I'll show you how to properly select ski equipment and how to maintain and store your equipment throughout the year. So, first step in selecting ski equipment is to determine where and what conditions you're going to be riding in. Here I have 3 examples of skis that pretty much cover all the bases as far as conditions go. First are going to be your groomer or hard pack snow ski. Second is going to be your park ski, which is going to be used for freestyle riding. And third here is going to be a powder ski used in very deep snow conditions. First step in discussing the differences in ski types is camber or reverse camber. With my first example here, a cambered ski, you have the ski touching at the tip, it is apart in between the bindings, and it touches at the tail. In this example of a reverse cambered ski, it is apart at the tip, touching at the bindings, and is apart at the tail. Now that we've talked about the differences between camber and reverse camber, we're ready to discuss the 3 examples that I've shown earlier. First of these is your entry-level hard pack snow or groom snow ski. This is going to be a good choice for most of the conditions here in northern Michigan. And it's also going to be typically the first type of ski people purchase. They're relatively inexpensive, ranging from $300 to $600 for the ski and binding package. These skis, as shown earlier, have camber in them. This allows the ski for a snap out of the turn and a more lively feel than the reverse cambered skis. Also, they have more of a directional shape, where there's a lot more tip section in the ski than tail, and typically the width of the tip is greater than the width of the tail. This allows for a good carving ability to the ski. Second example of skis I have here are the park ski, used for freestyle terrain, hitting jumps, sliding boxes. Similar to the groomer ski, they have camber. Still allows for good turning performance on the ski. Differences between these and the groomer skis are going to be a center-mounted binding location, which has the tip length, the same as the tail, and a turned-up tail section of the ski. Reason for this is because when riding jumps and hitting rails, you're going to be skiing switch a lot of the time, or backwards. And by having the center mount and the turned up tail section, it's going to allow for better reverse riding performance. The third example of skis I have here are powder skis. These are going to be used in deep snow conditions with snow depths ranging from 8 inches to 4 feet. Unlike the other 2 examples, these skis have a reverse camber profile, with the tip and tail sections being turned up. That, coupled with the significantly wider profile of the tip, waist, and tail sections, allow for greater float in the deep snow. Mounting position on powdered skis can vary a little bit more than on the groomer skis or the park skis. These have slightly more tip than tail length, which allows for easier turning in the deep snow.
Over the course of the year, you're probably going to have to wax your skis a couple times. A good indication of when it's a right time to wax your skis is if you're going a little bit slower or your skis are sticking to the snow. And it's a pretty easy thing to do. Here's the stuff you're going to need. It's just an iron, a scraper, a nylon brush, and of course the wax. And the wax you're going to use is going to vary depending on the temperature. If it's warmer out, you're going to use a softer wax because it just needs to repel water droplets. If it's colder out, there's ice crystals in the snow, so you're going to use a harder wax. So the first thing you're going to want to do is plug in your iron, and then take a cloth. It can be a little damp, and just wipe down your ski and get all the grime off and dirt that's been on there, caked on there. And that iron's gonna heat up. It'll only take a few minutes. And then you'll be ready to put the wax on it.
Is that just sitting outside?
So what you do is you just put the wax right on the iron and wait for it to drip into a corner. And take it the whole length of the ski. Oh, perfect. And then after it's dried, use the iron to melt that. And just smooth it in. Now that your ski is completely waxed, you're going to wait for it to cool down until you scrape it. You're going to want to do this outside because it's going to get messy, and you want to scrape as much wax off as possible. Once you're done scraping it, just bring it inside. There's going to be a little bit extra wax on it left over, so just run the brush along it, get it all perfect. You're ready to go skiing.
So the first thing you want to do when you set up a snowboard is determine if you're goofy or regular. The easiest way to do that is run and slide on a kitchen floor or something. Whatever foot you lead with will be the foot you start off with. Right foot forward would be goofy, left foot forward would be a regular stance. From there you just set the board down and step on it. Find a comfortable width that you'd like to set your bindings up at. They say the skinnier, the more stable you want to snowboard, the more wide you are, the easier it is to balance. And from there, you want to determine your setup. So if you're riding freestyle or park, you normally make your setup a twin tip, which means even length between your nose and tail. And if you're going to be riding powder or just carving down the mountain, normally you set up your front foot back further. That way you have a longer nose and more stable on the edges. You take your base plates and determine your angle. So it starts at 0 and works your way up. Normally you want to angle your front foot more than your back foot. That way you know which way you're riding. Alright, now that you got your angle set up and your bindings on the board, all you have to do is line up your inserts and tighten your bindings down. Easy enough. And there you go, ready to ride.